A long lineup of dedicated customers stretches around the block here in the Junction. All of these folks are waiting for one last pizza from Vesuvio Pizzeria and Spaghetti House. After more than 6 decades, this Toronto mainstay is closing its doors for good. For the past few days, this has been the site outside of the restaurant near Keele and Dundas.
I traveled 2 hours today from Muskoka to come up here.
Obviously, our favorite pizza restaurant is closing down, which is very sad.
The cheese, the pepperoni, the crust is always fantastic.
Vesuvio has weathered many challenges in the past 63 years, but COVID-19 proved to be the final straw.
It really crippled us. We must have lost 60%.
But they had a memorable run. The business started in 1957 when Eddie Pugliese and his brother Dominic brought their knowledge of New York-style pizza up north.
You know, nobody knew what pizza was. I like to believe that we were the very first, not only in Toronto, but possibly in Ontario, possibly in Canada, I don't know.
It was also a time when the Junction was under a prohibition.
When they ask you for a wine list, you tell them you haven't got any wines, you know. Some people, you just get up and left.
But they were part of the movement to change that, eventually succeeding in 2000. Still, the challenge of paying bills and covering labor crept up on him again. Pugliese says in the last few years before the pandemic hit, the restaurant was already struggling. The major blow of being forced to shut down the dining room amid the pandemic was the final nail in the coffin. Since announcing the closure, support has poured in from the community.
But I had to come early today just to make sure that I did get one of the last pizzas that they're going to serve.
You guys are going to be missed something fierce.
Now, what makes today even more unique is that the city, anticipating people would be coming out in droves, actually put down pylons so they can maintain social distancing. They've also reserved an entire lane here so that those who are walking by can stay a safe distance from the line. 81-year-old Pugliese is currently at home, unable to see everyone because he'd be putting himself at risk.
I'm confined at home, but I wish I was there. They've been coming for years and years, and I miss them mostly.
So what comes next?
Erica, I'm 81 years old. Yeah. I put my time in. I like to rest for a while.
Now, as for what will happen to the space itself, Pugliese says likely they'll end up selling it. In the Junction, Erica Natividad, City News.